What's up, everybody? It is Today in Web3. My name is Matthew Deemer. Let's move into Tuesday, May 30th for our week in review. I can't believe it's already May. So on Tuesday, we saw that probably one of the stupidest criminals on the planet. These dudes targeted a Bitcoin ATM, smashed their truck through a store to grab it, and, well, here, just watch the video.
The truck crashes right into the front of the store, shattering all that glass. And then you see several people jump out and go inside this store. And it's believed that the suspects were trying to take a Bitcoin ATM, but were not successful because here's the thing. Bitcoin is a digital currency, so there's no actual money inside of those machines.
Just absolutely stupid. They caused around $10,000 worth of damage. This store owner basically said, hey, you know what? They took everything from me. I don't have work right now. I have to look for a job because they broke into this poor person's store to get a Bitcoin ATM. Do they know that Bitcoin is not in the ATM? Well, 7 people have been charged and arrested in this stupidity. I want to just give a shout out to the store owner and say, I'm really sorry that this happened to you and those criminals. I hope that you do a lot of time in jail just because you're just that fucking dumb. Sam Bankman-Fried, speaking of dumb people, making some charges dropped as part of the extradition to the United States. There's like a little catch-22, if you will. Here, let's read through this really quick. The defense argued that 4 of the charges, which included bribing Chinese officials and violating campaign finance laws, were not part of the original indictment that formed the basis for Sam Bankman-Fried's extradition to the United States from the Bahamas. They claim that these charges breached the extradition treaty between the U.S. and the Bahamas, and they should be dismissed. The prosecutors, which I think this is a very interesting argument, countered that says the treaty does not bar the United States from charging a defendant with additional crimes after extradition, as long as they do not detain, try, or punish him for these crimes without the consent of the Bahamas, which is very interesting. So basically, if you go to the Bahamas and say, hey, this guy's wanted for, let's just say, murder, the Bahamas can say, okay, we'll give him to you. You try him for murder. You can't then get to the United States and they go, hey, by the way, we're going to get you on money laundering and theft and I don't know, whatever. Because that's not why they let him go. It's basically they're going to give you somebody just to be trumped up on charges that they're going to find after the extradition. And so if you wanted to charge them with those, you'd have to go back to the Bahamas and say, hey, we have these other charges. Take a look at the evidence. What do you think? Can we go through with it? And so here's the real interesting part. We understand the framework now, is that if you tell the Bahamas that somebody's being extradited for murder, you can't start just adding all kinds of charges to them without letting the Bahamas know. If you do that, then it isn't the defendants of the case. Like Sam Bankman-Fried's lawyers can't say, well, you got to drop those charges because that wasn't part of the extradition. It has to be the Bahamas that make that claim. And so basically the foreign country, in this case, the Bahamas, their lawyers have to be looking at this case and monitoring this case. And if these charges were added to the case after extradition, then they are the only ones that are able to sue and tell them that this was not part of the extradition, according to the treaty between the Bahamas and the United States. Super interesting stuff. We'll see what happens. Anyway, the hearing to schedule this dismissal is happening on June 15th. Also on Tuesday, crypto exchange Bybit, they are exiting Canada, citing recent regulatory developments. They said that it's always been Bybit's primary objective to operate our business in compliance with all relevant rules and regulations in Canada. In light of recent regulatory developments, Bybit has made the difficult but necessary decision to pause the availability of our products and services. So Bybit is exiting Canada. You can't deposit or anything after July 31st. And they're going to be, and you got to get your money out of there. You got to get your crypto out of there by September 30th. Meanwhile, Coinbase's CEO, Brian Armstrong, he says that, look, we can't get our shit together over here in the United States. And so the United States and Canada cannot get a regulatory framework that makes it easy for us to actually build in the digital asset space. So there's going to be a lot of other places that are going to clean up because they're getting their shit together. We might not like all of the rules, but at least they have it. And we also understand how to operate. What are those places? The UK, the UAE, Brazil, Japan, the EU, Australia, and Singapore. They're all vying to become crypto hubs. And what's going on with the United States? And so what does Justin Sun, the founder of Tron, say about this? Well, he says that it's a benefit. Keep messing up, United States, because it's going to go to Hong Kong and they're going to clean up over there. Again, I'm still cautious about this, but let's just be honest. And so Brian Armstrong, he's right. Like, companies are leaving the United States. which means that the innovation and the development, even though it's just like JPEGs right now, or mixers or trading or on-chain transactions or ordinals or anything like that, those are being developed somewhere. And these are going to be the new rails for payment systems, if you like it or not, CBDCs or digital assets or gaming or metaverse or Web3 or whatever you want to call it. This is going to be an integral part of it. It's going to be built on the ability to cheaply, quickly transact and send value across different chains and platforms and from people to people and wallet to wallet. You like it or not, it's going to happen. And so when companies start developing and adopting these digital assets, when gaming companies are going to start adopting these digital assets, these wallets, these technologies, these innovations that have been developed, refined, and now put into use for day-to-day life, is it going to be an American-based company with American-based patents and American-based trademarks and innovation? Or is it going to be in China or Singapore? And then how much are we going to be missing out on all of that? I think the United States is being very myopic with this. I hope that in the near future, very quick, that we start welcoming all companies to the United States to start growing this innovation. This is all about refining. I'm going to say it over and over and over again. When you got CDs in the mail that said 100 free hours from AOL, and you pop that disc into your computer, your compact Presario with 66 megahertz processor, an Intel processor, the Pentium, and you started chatting online, that turned into complete garbage in the AOL chat rooms, and your mom looked over your shoulder. I think I was around 15, 16 at the time. Mom looks over the shoulder and goes, "What the hell is this? This is rubbish. This is the future. This is the internet. We don't need any of it." These were the technologies that it was those interactions that not only inspired but refined the technology to make chat services that we have now, make Facebook, make Twitter, and so on and so forth. Let's not miss out on that. Let's not miss out on that in the United States. Anyway, click on any of the boxes here to see more episodes, or if you're on podcast form, look in your feed for more episodes. And until then, happy hodling, everyone.